Member of Parliament for U.S. Party says a lot has been done in the past and a lot has been stopped in the past regarding agriculture. Minister of Romy says preparations are being made with regards to the hurricane shelters on the island. But first up, President of the CLU holds discussions with Council of Ministers. Those are the headlines for Thursday, May the 14th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a packed newscast for you this evening, so let's get started. In our first story for this evening, President of the Chamber of Labor Unions, Claire Elshot, sat in a meeting with the Council of Ministers on May the 13th to discuss issues pertaining to salary cuts of civil servants. According to the union president, she said that as far as unions are concerned, all unions are in agreement with each other and have said a big no on behalf of their members.
As far as the unions, therefore, are concerned, all the unions in agreement with each other have stated a big no on behalf of their members. I would like to inform the members also that, again, tonight, Thursday night, at 7, there will be our next virtual meeting to also inform our members on the outcome of the meeting with the Council of Ministers and what we have tabled so far on behalf of the members and the feedback that we have received. Had measures that would directly impact the civil servants, and we are reading that 15 measures were there. And then the other page and a piece was on measures to be implemented, which were more general, talking about the organization, the government organization and the cuts. But in that document that we received, we could not find the arguments that was presented on Thursday, which was with the cut of these 4,000 and on. And I would like you to know, even those arguments of 4,000 and below, that is discrimination. It is discrimination in a setting of civil servants that you are asking me as unions to discriminate. With the part that we got in writing, it was just saying 100% cut in vacation allowance for 2020 and 75% for 2021. In our meeting in May the 7th, we didn't even discuss anything about 2021. So when I'm reading, it doesn't match. That I brought forward after when I got my chance to speak yesterday. I brought it forward and I also explained that basically, we have not been able to get support from our members for these measures. In any case, also added to that has the fast track of the pension age for from 62 to 65 for the AOV, and the fast track of the implementation of the pension from 62 to 65 with, with also, the middle, how you would say, the average pay as calculations. This, again, makes a whole big distrust implications on the unions versus government. It is not. You are telling me it's not government versus the unions, but this pension reform was taken from the table when liquidity support was requested in the Netherlands, and they went to the Netherlands for the liquidity support of 2018-2019. The pension reform law was in Parliament, I believe, 3 or 4 times, and it was reversed. Now you're going to fast track while the CCSU have given advice and we have not received response. We have given an advice, written advice, as CCSU. No response was received, and there it is in a document to fast track. Fast track for me, when you're on a fast track, running a race, you either win the race or you lose the race. So I don't want the union members, my members, to lose this race in the fast track. But I need the government to know that you cannot pass fast balls, because yesterday in the meeting we had been hearing, they did not present the measures on all the measures. So they had some measures held back, of course, in the meeting on Thursday. I really don't know.
Minister of Vromi, Ekbadoran, has met with management team of GEBE on Friday last, May the 8th, 2020. The topic of discussion was the progress being made at the company and the various challenges that they are facing on a daily basis.
Firstly, in regards to NVGEBE, on Friday, May 8th, last week, in my capacity as the Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment, Infrastructure, I visited the GB office, the main office in Phillipsburg. Upon my arrival, I was guided by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jerome Chittick. During my meeting, I was informed about the progress made by the company, and I also was informed about the various challenges that they are facing on a day-to-day basis and what was being done about these different points. The CEO elucidated the various social distancing measures implemented at the company in effort to combat and avoid the further spread of COVID-19 among its clients and staff. I was privileged to actually see this real life, so I saw the different measures that the company took, of which I commended the CEO. We further discussed the reconstruction of the main office in Phillipsburg that was destroyed during the passing of Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and the other plans and initiatives which the company intends to pursue in the very near future. Another meeting will be arranged with the management team in order to visit the various sites and also follow up on the progress made on the various points that was brought forward to me.
And still with the Minister of Vromi, he also elaborated on the preparations being made with regards to the hurricane shelters on the island. According to the minister, he toured the various hurricane shelters and assessed the various works that still have to be carried out.
I had a meeting with the NRPB. Discussions was held regarding the financing for the pumps and the roof repairs as well. In preparation for the upcoming hurricane season, I toured the various shelters in order to assess the necessary works that still needed to be carried out and also had to take place due to the damages of the catastrophe that took place in 2017. My support staff and I were escorted by the Secretary General of VSR, her support staff, as well as the head of the Department of New Projects within the Ministry of Vromi. There are still many repairs needed, such as the reinstallation of the air conditioning, generators, windows, as well as installment of hurricane shutters. This matter has my full attention and is my opinion, and I am sure that many others feel the same way. The process of the NRPB and the World Bank has been going on for way too long, and we are not seeing much results from it. Hence the reason I look forward to having a close relationship with them in order to determine the goal which is in the benefit of the people of St. Martin and having the adequate facilities up to par and be prepared as well. We are now heading into the third hurricane season since the disaster of 2017, and the present situation is absolutely not good. And I will say once again, it's definitely not in favor of the people of St. Martin, the current state that we are in. Even though it is evident that our people are still suffering from that blow, the pace does not seem to be picking up. With that being said, at this moment, we are working and exploring different means of financing for the aforementioned reparations that we can do via different means. Due to the fact that the start of the hurricane season is upon us, I have instructed my staff to create a hurricane shelter registration form. What do I mean? For instance, a button will be placed on the government's website for persons that require shelter so that they can register prior to any hurricanes. This form is very simple. Applicants will have to provide their general information and also that of their household. The sole purpose of this registration form is to ensure that the ministry, the government, has an estimate of persons requiring accommodations at a shelter in the event of a catastrophe. For those persons with no access to internet, registration forms will be available at the government building within short. In closing, I would like to say to the public of St. Martin that this COVID-19 pandemic caused the world to practically come to a standstill. This also includes our beautiful St. Martin. We find that suddenly we have to change many plans that we had at the forefront and put them at the back burner for a minute, while concentrating all our efforts in combating this pandemic and safeguarding our people. Nevertheless, I want to assure you that myself and the staff of the Ministry of Romy have been working tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring that things normalize. We will be able to provide and serve the public in an optimal manner. I also want to reiterate to the general public that as a country, slowly reopening, please remember to continue to practice proper hygiene and social distancing, as this is the most effective way to eliminate this further spread of COVID-19.
And still to come, Member of Parliament for UD says we need to think of agriculture economics. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue now with more news, at the virtual Parliamentary Committee of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunications meeting, which was held on Tuesday, May the 12th, regarding ways and means to promote the growth of the local agriculture sector here on the island, including fishery, animal husbandry, and poultry, and getting produce to local population during this crisis time, Member of Parliament Claudius Moncamper of the U.S. Party says a lot has been done in the past and a lot has been stopped in the past.
A lot has been done in the past. A lot has been stopped doing in the past and in the present. And why do I say that? When I looked at the budget 2020, there is one line on page 50 in the Ministry of Economic Affairs that talks about promoting agriculture for the purposes of enhancing the tourism product and diversification of the economy. There are 0 guilders, 0 guilders allocated to that one line. So in reality, we are doing absolutely nothing but talk. Talk, and talk is cheap. We need to agree as Parliament that if we want to make this a reality, we're going to have numbers in the budget. Numbers that mean something to those that do agriculture and mean something for this country. Diversifying the tourism product. We need to diversify the whole economy, not just the tourism product. But agriculture, I am not going to profess that I have been promoting agriculture all my life, because I'd be a hypocrite and I'd be a liar. But I have tried myself also to involve and figure out what's really happening here. We had an agriculture station, Up South Reward. It was being run by, I believe, Jocelyn Arundel. Where is it today? What's happening to it today? Nothing. It's just lying there. It's not being used. We gave away land 10 years ago to have a pound built to do something for the animals. Was it ever built? No. The land is still lying there. I'm saying if we seriously want to do something, then we got to put our mouth and money where we want to really go with this thing, because there are so many things. I think MP Westcott said it correctly. In the past, it was just a matter of time before we got the Greens reaching the island. Today, we ain't getting them. I am busy right now trying to get some stuff abroad to bring to the country. And you'd be amazed that fruits are just simply not on the market to buy. They're not available because every country needs it for themselves right now, because it boosts the immune system towards COVID-19. Red meat is going to be something with proteins that just now is going to be off the market or unaffordable.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for the United Democrats Party, Sarah Westcott Williams, in her presentation of Tuesday, May the 14th, said that she took note of the fact that several farmers has had challenges in delivering their produce. She said we have a small window of opportunity and we need to think of agriculture economics.
I took note of the fact that several persons, farmers on St. Martin, were perturbed about not being able to get water delivered to their places, others being anxious about the fact that they could not deliver their produce, etc., etc. However, this also encouraged me not to take what we can and what we grow right here for our own consumption for granted. For the similar reasons, I decided to throw in fishery as well. Often we casually mention these sectors, but as long as we can go to the market and buy fish or import fish, we tend to take these things for granted. What do I expect from this meeting? Well, for starters, a discussion amongst ourselves, the people's representatives, to share some of what is living in the community with regard to this topic. And if we can come to a consensus, to send a prompt to government to take this seriously and to use this window of opportunity to lay the groundwork for a sustainable approach to agriculture, farming, etc. More and more, we hear the ominous warning of our food security being under threat. Following hurricanes, it is usually a matter of delayed access. So getting supplies here to us, not the availability per se of these supplies. However, when you start to see producing countries securing their own first, we know what time of day it is. We have a small window of opportunity, in my opinion. If we put agriculture under the heading of food security, availability, we need to start to think of agriculture economics. What can agriculture mean for the health, food security, and the economy of St. Martin?
Now turning to our weather forecast for May the 14th, 2020. A relatively stable atmosphere will continue to restrict precipitation during this forecast period. Meanwhile, the Atlantic high-pressure system will generate a gentle to moderate wind flow across the region. Slight to moderate seas will prevail throughout the next few days. The outlook through Saturday midday is fair to partly cloudy with a passing shower which is possible. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, First Vice President of the Collectivité gives an update on the economic deconfinement. We'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of Web Mobile Banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download Web Mobile Banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And as we continue now with more news, this item out of French Saint Martin. First Vice President of the Collectivité, Valérie Demasseau, gave an update of the economic deconfinement on that part of the island. She says that a hold has been put on the reopening of bars and restaurants on French Saint Martin.
We would like to give a few points on the subject of economic deconfinement, which will be progressive during the month of May. This week, several categories of trade are authorized to reopen for business, with the exceptions of bars and restaurants, which still have to wait. Some merchants have alerted us on the need for them to organize a longer sale period to allow them to restart their business. We have taken it into consideration, this request, and brought it forward to the Minister for Economic Affairs and Finance, Minister Bruno Le Maire, so that exceptionally this year, the official sales period can be extended from May 11th to August 31st instead of May 24th, 2020. This measure is likely to give merchants an opportunity to generate cash to pay their suppliers and therefore allowing them to restart their business under more favorable conditions. Our position regarding the tourist sector is clear. We want to reopen as quickly as possible for this sector of activity, which constitutes the bulk of the local economic fabric. We have held work meetings with the state services as well with the various economic actors and socio-professional organizations to discuss the sanitary terms and conditions of the recovery as well as the different aids we have put in place over the last weeks. We are in the process of implementing a deconfinement plan with Madame la Préfète. This plan will define the terms and recommendations to allow businesses in the tourism industry to reopen their establishment before the end of May. The President of the Republic has given us his approval on the condition that we implement strict sanitary measures to protect consumers and personnel. We are actively working on it. The restaurateurs have made few proposals. We will be available to provide clear guidance in the coming days.
And as we turn now to the dust side of the island, member of the anti-poverty platform Raymond Gisseroun gives an update of the 725 persons that applied for payroll support from government.
The latest update provided was that 725 employers have filed for payroll support, covering 8,527 workers. There are approximately 23,000 workers employed in the formal sector. So if 8,527 workers are covered, that's only 37% of all the workers in the formal economy. Did all of these 8,527 workers got their full March and April salary paid out? What happened to the other 14,500 workers in the formal economy? If their employers did not file for payroll support, did they get their salaries paid in full? How many of the 23,000 workers in the formal sector have not received their full salary at the end of March and the end of April? Can the Ministry of VESA, after having received the social assessment forms, give an indication of how many workers did not get their full salary paid out? And how many workers have filed an official complaint with the Labor Department that they have not received their full salary paid out? Those are the persons that we call in the formal economy. What about the more than 10,600 so-called inactive persons. The inactive persons are the persons which are officially not considered as unemployed in the last labor force survey of 2018. Unemployed, according to the survey, was only the persons that in the last 2 weeks prior to the survey were actively looking for a job. But a lot of these so-called inactive persons were active in the informal sector of the economy, offering their labor or their services to make a dollar. So when the lockdown forced everybody to stay home, where were these persons getting income from to support their families? And are all these persons, more than 10,000, receiving social allowance from government? How many persons are getting actually social allowance? Can the Ministry of ASR provide these numbers?
And still to come, Rotary Sunset joins efforts to combat COVID-19 pandemic. We'll have the details for that story when SXM Daily News returns. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, the Rotary Club of St. Martin Sunset has joined in the ongoing effort to combat the further spread of the novel coronavirus. They are providing much-needed personal protection equipment to the PPEs for the frontline workers carrying out the community outreach program organized by the Collective Prevention Services, CPS. In the wake of the unprecedented COVID-19 outbreak, Rotary clubs worldwide are responding to the impact of the global pandemic by providing comfort and hope to those on the front line, as well as those fighting against the deadly novel coronavirus. Rotary clubs around the world are working with local governments to provide food, medical equipment, masks, sanitizers, and many more items as needed. Disease prevention and awareness is one of Rotary's key areas of focus, and Rotary has been praised for their ongoing efforts in the fight to eradicate polio. With this novel coronavirus, Rotary maintains its position as one of the leading organizations in the fight to combat this deadly virus, with millions of dollars spent thus far globally in combating the deadly virus. Earlier in February, the club distributed hand sanitizers to promote proper hygiene and sanitation well ahead of the coronavirus outbreak on St. Martin, and they continue to support the ongoing efforts to combat further spread throughout our community by providing additional PPE gears to protect our frontline workers during their community outreach program. Members of the club have even joined in the efforts to slow the spread on St. Martin by taking part in the community outreach program. According to Rotary President Jaida Nisbet, who also said that it is their pleasure to be able to provide assistance and do their part in combating this virus. And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of the SXM Daily News for this evening. I'm Valerie Van Putten, and just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.